Welcome back, everyone, to the final match of today here for the Hearthstone Grandmasters Americas kickoff day for Week 3, as we are pretty close to finding out who between NoHandsGamer, who just defeated Muzzy by a score of 2-0 in the Priestmere, going up against ETC, who had a chance to make it through, is playing this Malagos Druid, which is our deck spotlight for today. And we'll see if ETC can use that time to rest and kind of reset and get an opportunity to take down another priest, as it seems like that is the matchup that he was much more prepared for compared to maybe the mage, which seems to be a lot more problematic for him.
Yeah, it does seem to be the better deck for him, and that's why I think that the Malagos was a good meta choice, because the priests were most likely going to have a good amount of success. There was most likely going to be a good amount of them. And if you're playing on the priest, then you're probably doing pretty well for yourself. And ETC was, in the leader position in the Swiss rounds for quite a while until he dropped a couple late. But we'll see. No hands. I mean, he has to have an absurd amount of mental fortitude right now because he just played 2 games of Priestmeres that lasted an hour and a half between the two of them. He's also got to be feeling pretty confident in his priest play because he won both of those games. So yeah, he's either got momentum on his side and he's feeling super confident, or he's just so tired that he doesn't know what's happening. Those are the two options.
I think that NoHandsGamer has gone through a lot more trials and tribulations in his life than having to play Priestmeres twice in a row. Not many, but I'm sure he's gone through a few.
Try and match the ramp with a wild growth here.
I agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, it seems... Yeah, wild growth, that looks good, into the ability to play Galakron and then have Krongs for development. Either way, it does look like this is going to be quite an explosive matchup here. So ETC had the opportunity, I guess he wanted to save his 2 innervates in the coin for the Guardian Animals, which is very fair and logical. I guess in that point, it's best to curve out with Guardian Animals first, and then roll into 5 mana with the Twilight Runner. NoHandsGamer goes for a Thought-Steal, finds Ysera and Lightning Bloom. And so this extra mana, last time NoHandsGamer had that extra mana, he actually did pretty decently with that opportunity. And this rematch, we'll see if ETC can still get that big combo off, because last time we saw this happen, ETC kind of ran away with game number 1 with some crazy damage from Malagos. And with that card draw backing up with the Twilight Runner, it seems like he's going to be in a pretty good spot. But NoHandsGamer also can just destroy this if he plays his Galakron, which is huge.
Yeah, and he's still not playing minions, which is kind of what ETC's waiting for, it seems, for the Guardian Animals. He's waiting for minions to be able to rush in. At this point, though, he kind of just has to start getting stuff out of his deck, so he doesn't wait so long to play Guardian Animals. No Hands is overloaded going into the next turn, but it's going to take it slow again. Mirror power.
Wow.
Shake of the head, too. I mean, this is Malagos Druid, so he has less beasts in his deck. He's less punished by holding on to this. Also, like, the innervates do open up more opportunities for more break points of damage later on in the game. There's a lot of things to keep in mind in that regard, but I guess now he can finally play Guardian Animals, because at least No Hands has 1 minion on them. So he can rush into Twilight Runner if he would get it.
2 Moonfires, 2 innervates. Twilight Runner draws 2 more cards.
Nice!
Another Guardian Animals, which is actually good, so that if ETC picks up Geppetto, doesn't have to pull his Thresher.
Yep. Weave of Apathy, Cabal, Shadow Priest.
Ooh, yes, I like that even better. And you can even attack immediately with it, which is nice.
Yeah.
Let me change your mind.
Draw some cards. Oh.
Job's
done. I wanted to pick Nozdormu.
I was thinking about Nozdormu too because it makes things like Ysera portals really unwieldy. Like it becomes a thing where you might skip his turn.
Yeah. Also, ETC has no slight against him, but he's proven over time in Grandmasters that rope is his enemy.
Oh yeah.
Priest has more mana crystals than the druid. How often do you see that? Not often is the answer.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's. It does seem like right now No Hands has so many options that you can pretty much argue it, but it really depends on what he feels like is in the hand of ETC and how he sees the rest of this game developing here. If you play, you could tell him to just play like a big threat. You could tell him to clear the board with Kronks. There's also just straight up removal and slow development and try to extract value. I think the Kronks clearing makes the most sense because he can also develop Fairy Dragon behind that. And he needs to free up his hand space, right? Because he wants to play Dragon Queen because he wants to threaten his opponent.
Yeah. It'd be pretty telling here if he didn't hero power, but honestly, he's got so much stuff to play in hand. There's nothing to be gained by hero powering.
My dream is your nightmare.
All right, I feel like this is a position that NoHandsGamer's got to be feeling pretty comfortable in.
It does seem to be the case.
Ooh.
One Geppetto into Malagos, though, changes everything. Mind Render Elucia, what a way.
You could dump
you can really mess things up, but he also would be giving a lot of tempo options to ETC.
Yeah. He would dump his whole hand, though. I think essentially his whole hand, right? Because he'd have 7 mana left. He could Force Ward an Omu Moonfire, then Overflow, Lightning Bolt, Swipe. No, you wouldn't want to Overflow. I guess you just swipe. Keep him the Overflow. But obviously, we're falling into the trap of, oh my god, look how sick his Mind Render would have been if you played it right now with absolutely zero information and no reads whatsoever.
Right.
But, we can dream, Dan. Someone makes a sick read one day, and we didn't talk about that scenario, we're going to regret it.
I know. That's true.
What? You got to live life with no regrets, Dan.
I mean, looking at ETC's hand right now. It looks pretty dicey since if he plays Overflow, it's not really going to actually give him playable stuff on the following turn, and he doesn't really have ways to leverage his Lightning Bloom in a meaningful way right now. So it looks like he's just going to have to clear off as much as he can. Interesting. He's using the swipes here. Or, sorry, he's going to be swiping not the Dragon Queen. I kind of anticipated Dragon Queen Oshkraz to be swiped. Because he wants to dump for Lightning Bloom into the Overflow. All right. Wasn't expecting that, to be quite honest.
Well, he holds on to one swipe in the Double Moonfire, which still allows him to have a lethal opportunity, but he needs some big portals here because he's starting to fall a bit far behind on board, and he doesn't have the time to assemble this combo. All right.
How much damage is on the other side? This is a lot of Dragon Portals. No doubt about it. Oh, jeez. One more. So he's got 18 on the board. If he plays Mind Render Elucia, Oh my god, he actually does have lethal if you mind Red Lucius, because he could play Forest Warden, then Alex Straza, and then Gil. But how do you make that read? You have to make the read.
You can't. Well, I don't know. You might be
you draw
able
a lot
to.
of cards.
It's just there's not many things that hit you lethal outside of a very specific combination. If it was like he had drawn all of his cards and you knew swipe was there, or something along those lines, like then you might feel a little bit more comfortable about going for it. The awkward part here though is that he can't.
Read.
It's hard for him to clear off enough.
In Hearthstone Grandmasters if he did that, but I think he's just gonna go with the guaranteed like reaction here with Soul Mirror.
Yeah, because this also builds up his board.
Right.
A good amount. He gets the Penance, develop 1 mana Wax the Dread, push 7 damage. And solid turn.
Yeah.
But Dan, yes, it was a missed lethal.
Wow.
You could tack that on the board as a missed lethal. Can't blame NoHandsGamer for it. That's one of those missed lethal that's nobody's fault.
They don't call him Swap Hands Gamer.
True. Very true. They also don't call him NoHandsGamer with a, the other no, KNOW Hands Gamer.
Nice.
What to do?
I think yours is more clever. EDC goes to the nature studies. None of these seem particularly super impactful. I guess what's nice about the Iron Bark is that you can use it and taunt up, but like... oh no, the rope's burning. I think we're out of time here. We gotta go. Maybe Iron Bark, just Germination and chill? There is 7 plus 12, 19 on the board. Apotheosis and Time Rip is lethal. That's game number 1.
Did it!
For the NoHandsGamer. Seemed like ETC really struggled to find a line that helped him win, and just kind of floundered around for that last last turn here. So game number 1 goes to the Priest, and the Malagos Druid Dream is slowly starting to fade here. ETC and NoHandsGamer both desperately need a high finish here to make sure they land in Division A.
Yeah. NoHandsGamer has a little bit of a better shot. He doesn't actually have to win. He just needs a good finish and then some help from some other people. Actually, he might be guaranteed with by knocking ETC out if one more player gets out. So ETC would have to actually win. He'd have to win everything, and he'd have to make sure that nobody else that was above him also had a good performance. So it's going to be very difficult. So NoHands does have a good shot of making it to Division A if he gets to this top 4, regardless of outcome on Sunday.
He's looking pretty solid for it as well, given that he has a 1-0 lead, and it seems like he's playing very solidly. I really liked a lot of the decision-making behind NoHandsGamer. It seems like he really has a thorough analysis of the game state and trying to understand like if he's trying to play for value versus play for tempo. And I really appreciate that, as opposed to people who just kind of jam Priest and say, I'm just going to remove everything and never try to win. Because I think that is limiting the potential of the deck severely, because that's definitely one of the biggest reasons I feel like Priest has turned the corner from their control deck days where they just kind of like waited to die and just died to combo decks, is that not only do they have disruption and removal tools, but they have ways to actually start turning on the gas and meaningfully develop to threaten their opponents and even win the game because of that. So it's a really nice change of pace for those control decks compared to in the past where we just saw Priest wait for their opponents to leave the game. And so we go into game number 2 and see if either player chooses to swap decks. It doesn't seem like that's the case. Primary decks on both sides.
Yeah. Plays out the same as their first series together, where they keep primary decks all the way through. And it was a 3-game set, so we did have some back and forth action going on. But we'll see if that's the case. No Hands coming off of a nice victory. But, ETC didn't have a great hand to start things off. Couldn't find ramp. Kind of had to play from behind the whole game. But No Hands starts with Zephyrus again, so he can kind of match the ramp if he wants to do that. ETC a double Nature Studies keep.
Wow, was it a keep or did we just come to the mulligan? I mean, if it did keep it, it's because he really wants to find that ramp early.
Yeah, but he's got so much ramp already in his deck. Just take one Nature Studies and then try and find the ramp in your deck.
Partner assignment potential. But yeah, he does keep the Nature Studies. That's really interesting and maybe something to even mull it over, TJ.
Ooh.
Because it does feel like when you are valuing that early ramp, you want ramp so much because of your small window to take advantage of Priest. Because Priest is pretty good if you give them the ability to generate tempo. They're actually pretty decent at it right now.
Yeah. Nature Studies can find you ramp, but Overgrowth and Wild Growth both have like 5% plus higher win rates when kept in the mulligan than Nature Studies for a reason. Nature Studies is nice to be able to smooth out the curve with ramp, but it's not very reliable in finding.
Right.
We'll move past that. We'll see if ETC can find anything here. Nope.
Yeah.
Mark of the Wild though, because he will get the one magic dart frog tick from the Nature Studies, and now he'll get the second one from Mark of the Wild and just be pushing with a 3/5.
I like it.
Nice.
I mean, it's a way to really kind of punish.
Ooh.
Yeah. Does he want to? No, saving that for Overgrowth doesn't change anything.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything. Honestly, like, he picked Wild Growth there. Just get him. Like, punish him for ramping. That's what he's trying to do to you.
Yeah, unless he's like, oh, if you picked Animal Companion, I think I can take out a 4-health minion.
Damn, spoiler alert. He's not picking Animal Companion.
Yeah, I don't think he ever would. Given that you're really trying to prioritize keeping up with the Druid. If you pick up cards like Soul Mirror, it's great against a lot of their Guardian Animals turns. But you need to have the mana to play that.
Must consider.
Yep. Now he will be able to curve if he holds on to the spell for that long. He'll be able to curve into like Guardian Animals on 6 out of 7. But that's at the expense of 4 turns with 2 extra power on board, 2 extra power and health. That's 2 turns that he's, well, not floated a mana since he hero powered in the turn. He would have played Mark of the Wild, but
okay, so he just really wanted to use it to curve into Guardian Animal.
And with 2 beasts in hand meant that.
I mean, he just drew another one, so.
Yeah, he's.
Is he only down to 1 now?
Beast.
He has a Teacher's Pet. That's all he gets off Guardian Animals now. Maybe instead, he wants to just overflow on the following turn. No, because then he's going to have... The Twilight Runner can't attack. I
Must consider.
Is this a Mind Flayer turn? Or Mind Render turn? It looks like it is. on his end. He wants to really get ahead and see what his opponents are going to try to do. And I guess he gets information that's not super helpful. I mean, I guess it's helpful information, but I guess he doesn't have anything that's like super disruptive. I think that he was looking for here. Unless this Mark of the Wild is so critical to the strategy of Druid. Yeah, I'm missing something here.
Quickly. No. When he... The best thing that came from that for No Hands was information.
Well, what's really funny is ETC drawing cards might end up helping NoHandsGamer. You're filling up the hand for later, which is particularly interesting to me. So maybe ETC doesn't even want to attack this turn with the Twilight Runner.
Yeah. Just go Wretched Tutor Shadower Death.
Sure.
I mean, you can go Draconic Studies because it gets you an extra Magic Dart Frog Missile, but just kind of spending the mana for No Hands. I guess you could pick just the worst dragon. Just give him garbage. Yeah. Give him a
These are all
move.
solid dragons, to be quite honest. I guess he doesn't keep the discount, so Nosdorm is still full cost is kind of annoying. So yeah, that is probably the worst dragon. No Hands is going to look for a way to shut down that card draw source, although he knows that overflows in the hand. Initiation seems too expensive. And I think No Hands can go ahead and shut down this 2/5 Wretched Tutor if he wants to use the Forbidden Words.
I mean, with this type of game state, I feel like ETC has
So weird.
a little happier because he's fine with like nothing happening because he's like accruing resources and now Mind Render's gone, so he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Like, he could just draw cards and then sit.
Interesting.
I'm surprised he didn't just. I mean, his play Guardian Animals. Just like
Right.
get the
It's
teacher's
a-
pet out so you don't draw it anymore.
He still can.
He still can, but I would have done it first so you didn't draw it.
I agree. Unless something would have changed his play. Like maybe if he drew a specific card, it would have changed what he wanted to do here.
Yeah, if he drew the teacher's pet, he wouldn't be able to play Guardian Animals anymore. That would have
Totally
changed his
fair.
play.
Very fair. I was thinking like maybe he was looking for Bog Beam. But still, that would have... I don't know. Everything worked out okay, though. The Magic Dart Frog didn't end up hitting the right target so he could trade. NoHandsGamer most likely just going to Shadow Word Death that Twilight Runner.
Broomstick Inner Fire.
Inner Fire, yeah, Inner Fire and Animated Broomstick actually is very good here.
Ooh.
That is spicy.
Ooh.
Really cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, do that so you can kill a Mukla. Rewarded!
Oh,
Yes!
Wow. Good
Nice
sequencing. I mean, he obviously would have liked to keep the Lightwell, but that's why you do it.
Yeah.
Alex Straza.
I'd rather not have a Lightwell than my opponent have a Mukla.
Agreed.
Agree to agree.
Agree. You can actually do two things here. You can Forest Warden, Breath of Dreams, and then play Alexstrasza.
Oh.
Maximum tempo. Just kind of turbocharge this.
Yeah.
Only because I feel like I would want to stick a minion if Priest has single target removal. Both plays would be weak to like a Solmir, but seems like No Hands is only got the Shadow Word Death. Oh my, the Ray's dead. I guess ETC is focused on Overflow, right? Because he wants to dump his hand first for it.
Yeah. Oh.
Mind Render.
The future
Oh.
is clear. Your demise be near.
I mean, he knew about these exact 3 cards already, along with Overflow. So it's not new information.
Blood be born again.
I think I would also have been tempted to play Wave of Apathy and then Twilight Runner instead of the Shadow Word Death. But I guess NoHandsGamer really wants to make sure no minion can stick, wants to avoid any kind of cheese death from ETC.
Yeah. Alright, not too much mana to work with here, but again, get this Twilight Runner down, start drawing some cards, getting close to that combo. Okay, Dan. Some hypothetical. You up for some hypothetical mind render? My new favorite game. He plays it here. He can make a sick play.
I mean,
he could mind render Force Word No Move Bog Beam Malagos.
This is also really good. Bog Beam Malagos. This is a very good play as well, and I think he doesn't want to give up his Galakrond like that. But yes, yeah. I'm inclined to agree in most cases.
I'm not interested in good plays, Dan. I'm interested in unnecessary hypothetical situations where Mind Render or Lucia is played onto the board and completely destroys his opponent. That's what I'm interested in. All right, we're close now. The second Mind Render is actually probably going to be game-winning.
Yeah, I mean, this looks so devastating for ETC because you're able to get rid of his combo damage, and at that point, he has to win through just Ysera Unleashed. And if you're ETC, you kind of think about, like, do you dump anything? Are you supposed to draw a card with Breath of Dreams, then dump? It does seem like ETC kind of runs into hand issues with his deck right now pretty often. And with that heal back up to 26, still outside that range, and so many cards being drawn, I gotta imagine No Hands wants to go for it this turn.
Oh, jeez.
Well, Murzon is interesting, but it's gotta be the Mind Render.
He's only got 8 cards left in his deck. Play the Mind Render, dump anything you can. You could play Forest Warden, Moonfire, and then Malagos is probably the best, or Forest Warden, Moonfire, Ysera.
Yeah, I like the Ysera actually.
Yeah.
Stops the out.
Yeah, well this happens, and then you can think. Have a think.
Well, yeah, just because you can't really capitalize off Malagos.
Yeah, also, you have
wait, no. If he plays the Ysera, though, he's shuffling the dragons in for him, right?
Oh, yeah. He's shuffling
the dragons
he
can't drag, yeah.
But if he plays Malagos, he knows he has a Murzon in his hand on the other side.
Right.
So he's giving ETC a Malagos.
Well, yeah, I guess
so he doesn't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
Just dump the swipe. Yeah.
Okay.
Mind Render rending our minds.
That is,
yeah, because
he saw
the Murzon draw.
Think this is your time?
And what do you have a way to kill Malagos? He wouldn't have a way to kill Malagos plus the Murazon if ETC had just played that from his hand, which he knew was there.
Right.
He also he also had a Wave of Apathy, so yeah, there definitely could be. Oh, but now he gets a
Force
Warden, he can
play
Wave
the
of Apathy.
dragon because of the way it was sequenced. Like, actually, it doesn't really matter the way he sequenced it because he's going to get an Onu right back because he got to play it. Wow. I mean, that's a lot of tempo.
That worked out really well for ETC.
Maybe the Mind Render wasn't a really good choice here. What on earth is that draw?
Look at No Hands.
Wow.
He's like, I'll take it. He was dead. If he picks up what was any other card in his deck, he dies.
Yeah. Yes. Poor ETC.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, now that's got to be it. It was one of those things where I think because No Hands was really confident about the way that was set up, knowing that the Murazon was in their stand, I guess I didn't really anticipate it to backfire nearly as much as it did. And then I think upon that realization from No Hand's side kind of led us to the situation where ETC was like, okay, I got this. And then No Hands decked the only card that could really bail him out as dramatically as it did.
Yeah. Yeah, that Minor Lucia looked like it was going to ruin ETC, but like, everything was so awkward because of the draw at the top. Like, maybe if, Soul Mirror aside, right, if you had top decked anything else, maybe Murazon was the better play in that instance. So then when you do play Mind Render or Lucia, you can dump it, assuming you don't die the next turn. Right? Because he knew that the Murazon was his hand, so he knew that whatever he disrupted from ETC, that he'd be able to get just with the Murazon. I don't know. That's actually a tough play. I mean, obviously it doesn't matter now, but it's an interesting spot.
Why not? As if we haven't seen enough of any of these dragons.
So we have the change of cards can't generate themselves, but what we really need is cards that are generated can't generate the things they were generated from. That's the next balance change we need. So things have to have 3 degrees of separation in order to generate themselves.
I mean, those are the moments that really make Hearthstone games very memorable for a lot of these players when they're like, can you believe that I was able to get multiple copies of this card? It's just that the Dragon Queen Alexstrasza battles seem to be frighteningly at peak tension right now. There's just so much going on, and it feels so hard to be able to anticipate anything and play around stuff. It's just really tricky when your opponent's generating that many cards.
Yeah. Well, there's 90 damage on board. Kronkstad's 4, so that's 13. Apotheosis from this renew would be lethal. So would anything else. Wait, if he had renewed his Mind Render, Inner Fire would have also been lethal. Oh, Powered Feast is also lethal.
Yep, that's right. And that should do it. NoHandsGamer is going to advance 2-0 and send ETC packing for Division B while he lives on to fight for Division A. A Mage and a Priest have advanced from day 1 of competition, and NoHandsGamer looking to finish strong here for a week number 1 appearance and a week number 3 appearance in the top 8. And it's great because we want to see that new blood challenging. And today, TJ, we got to see 2 of our new GMs go through.
Yeah, and honestly, I think they were the 2 GMs that, out of the 4 we had coming into the season, that most people were hyped about. Killing all day, just because of his history and how consistently he's been performing in NoHandsGamer, because of like the past year he's had has been quite insane. So they're going to both be moving on. Also, a chance for them to meet in the finals. Could be an all newcomer finals for the Specialist Week. And yeah, they're going to be joined by someone from Group B, which we'll have tomorrow, which consisting of a lot of familiar names in America's Grandmasters. Bloody Face, Monsanto, and Eddie. Feels like they're in the top 8 every week. If it feels that way, it's because they are. And then Saiyan to round that off, who also is always in that conversation for one of the most consistent players in America's. What a stacked group that is, and it's very similar layout to today as far as decks go, where a mirror to start the day with Bloody Face and Monsanto both playing Priest, and then Eddie with Turtle Mage once again, 3rd week in a row, versus Saiyan, who's the only Malagos Druid player left in America still standing.
Yeah, quite a ridiculous day of games. And you know what? It wasn't so bad being best of 3 with some of these matchups because they were quite exciting, right? It had to be like a win or lose situation quite often. And so I enjoyed it a lot. But that brings us to the conclusion of today. And like TJ was talking about, a lot of stuff and storylines to look forward to tomorrow. And of course, we'll be right back here right after Europe. So make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, youtube.com/Hearthstone Esports for all the VODs, and go to playhearthstone.com/esports for all the deck lists, the standings, the rules, the format, as we get ready for stage 2 of this competition. Another shout out to America's largest 5G network and T-Mobile for sponsoring us, and as well as the viewers at home who tuned in. But that's it from everybody. So from TJ and Frodan and everyone here part of the Hearthstone Grandmasters program, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow for more Hearthstone action.
Hearthstone Grandmasters is brought to you by T-Mobile. Switch today and rank up to America's largest 5G network. T-Mobile.